Hello, students. So, this is another episode where we are talking about three dramatists of ancient India. And they are, Bhavabhuti, Sriharsha, and Bhattanarayana. So, when we are talking about the drama writer of Gupta period, these three names are actually coming up. Not that before Bhavabhuti, Harsha, and Bhattanarayana there were no one, but these, as you know, that Gupta age has been called a classical age, a golden period for development of Sanskrit literature and other kind of literature, both religious and secular literature. So we will actually look at these three pioneer drama writer of this era. So starting with Bhavabhuti. So another name of Bhavabhuti is Srikantha. So this is, you have to remember that if you have been asked that what is the other name of Bhavabhuti, or if you get a question about Srikantha, you have to remember that it's Bhavabhuti. His surname was Udumbara. He was born at Padmapura at Vidarbha. Vidarbha is present day Berar. And according to Raj Tarungini, the history of Kashmir, Raj Tarungini by Kalhana, these texts says that Bhavabhuti was the court poet of Yashovarman, the king of Kanyakubja. So Yashovarman was a king of Kanyakubja who was defeated by Muktapira Lalitaditya of Kashmir. And so in reference to the history of Kashmir, which is the basic theme of Raj Tarungini, Kalhan is saying that Bhavabhuti was a court poet of Yashovarman, because this Yashovarman was later defeated by Muktapira Lalitaditya. So so Bhavabhuti has been referred in Raj Tarungini. Also, in various plays that Bhavabhuti wrote, he styled himself as Padavakya Pramagyana. And what is this Padavakya Pramagya? He knew Padashastra which is grammar, Vakya Shastra, that is Mimamsha philosophy. There are 6 kind of Mimamsha philosophy, as you know, and Pramana Shastra is Nyaya philosophy. So these are separate branches of philosophy that we will discuss in another video. But for now on, you have to remember that Bhavabhuti knew this kind of the shastric injunctions, that is grammar, Mimamsha philosophy, Nyaya philosophy, etc. He was also pupil of a Mimamshaka. Mimamshaka means one who is writing the Mimamsha philosophy, and his teacher name was Kumarila Bhatta. He was very famous. So if you get any question like who was the teacher, or who was the pupil of Kumarila Bhatta, the answer will be Bhavabhuti. Okay, now to move on to his major, Bhavabhuti's major, writing, that is his dramas. There are 3 plays that we are going to talk about. One is Mahavira Charitra, that is 7 acts. The play is consisted of 7 acts, and Mahavira Charitra is about the earlier life of Rama as a warrior. So it is a part of Ramayana. The second play, that is Uttar Ramcharita. Uttar Ramcharita is also 7 acts, and it also deals with a part of Ramayana, but it's about the later phase of Ramayana. So if Mahavir Charita is the initial phase of Ramayana, that is, it describes Rama's story as a warrior, then Uttar Ramcharita is about the later phases of Ramayana, and both are consisted of 7 acts. There is a third one, that is Malati Madhava. It is basically a love story between Malati and Madhava, as the name itself is suggesting, and it is compared to Romeo Juliet of Shakespeare, because the story is very similar to that romantic plot and everything. So these 3 plays, Mahavir Charita, Uttar Ramcharita, and Malati Madhava, these 3 has been ascribed to Bhavabhuti. And if you look at what is the characteristics of Bhavabhuti's writing, his dramas and his plays, that is, he is famous for depicting sentiments like Karuna Rasa, that is pathos. Karuna Rasa means the viraha, the pathos, the sorrow. He is very popular, or he is very he has been cherished for portraying the Karuna Rasa in his drama. And love in his drama is more kind of spiritual than sensual. So when we are actually talking about Kalidas, if we go to our another video which we have made about Kalidas drama was, I mean, his kavya was more about sensual love, erotic love. But Bhavabhuti, in contrast to that, his love is more spiritual. And in his drama, Bhavabhuti rarely used any hashyarosh, that is humor, right? And Bhavabhuti also used long prose speeches in his plays, which indicate that his dramas were meant to be read rather to be staged, because these long prose speeches cannot be always orated on a stage, so these were meant to be read. It was an assumption of historians. And a precursor of Bhavabhuti, I mean, one who belonged to the period before Bhavabhuti, but his writing style is very similar to Bhavabhuti, was Dhiranga of Aralapura. So this Dhiranga, he also kind of used this Karuna Rasa very profoundly in his drama. So that is why Dhiranga has been sometimes compared to Bhavabhuti. So this was Bhavabhuti in a very short or brief way, because you have to remember the three plays and what are the basic characteristics of his writings. The next is Sriharsha. So whenever we are saying Sriharsha, it is basically Harshavardhan of Kannauj, the famous king Harshavardhan of Kannauj. So historians are divided that whether Harshavardhan wrote these classic dramas or he kind of patronized it to write, he patronized his court poet to write on behalf of him. So this is a very classical debate, that whether a king is writing, although the name of the king is written as an author, but whether he is writing it or his court poet is writing on behalf of him. So this is a thing. Hall and Buller, they are two historians. They kind of said that no, these whatever dramas are there, that is three plays, that has been written by Banabhatta, and it is not written by Harshavardhan. So Hall and Buller, these two historians believes that. But Banabhatta, he kind of praises his patron Harshavardhan, and he also says that that Harshavardhan's poetic genius was very he kind of, Banabhatta is all praise about his patron, that how he is a genius about creating poetic literature. Ising is there. He also tells us that the king Shiladitya is also King Shiladitya is another name of Harshavardhan, you have to remember that. So Ising is also, who is a Chinese traveler, he is also saying that King Shiladitya, he kind of wrote Nagananda, which is one of the important play of Harshavardhan. So there is a debate that whether the three plays that has been commonly ascribed to Harshavardhan, whether he himself wrote it or it was written by his court poet Banabhatta and others. Whether we are saying that Hall and Buller, they are saying that no, it is not written by Harshavardhan, but when we are looking at the kind of the travel document, that is Ising or Banabhatta's own document, it has been said that no, Harshavardhan had a poetic he had a poetic genius ability within him, and so these all were written by him. So now it is commonly believed that yes, Harshavardhan wrote that himself, and there is no point in believing that he kind of the court poet wrote for him. So the first play of the Harshavardhan is Nagananda. Nagananda is a Nataka. Nataka means drama, which has 5 acts. It depicts the story of Jimudvahana. So Jimudvahana, and you may say that it is actually about Buddhism, but the historians are saying no, it's mainly a harmonious blending of Buddhism and Hinduism. That is Garuda and Gauri, and this is also last work of Sriharsha. So Nagananda is there, and after that Priyadarshika, which is a famous work of Harshavardhan, and the plot of Priyadarshika very much resembles Kalidas Malavika Mitram. We have already discussed Kalidas Malavika Mitram in another video. that we made for this page. So if you did not watch it, please go and have a look at it and then come to here, because now then you have a better understanding that how Priyadarshika is very much alike to the plot of Kalidasa's Malavikamitra. So in Priyadarshika, Harshavardhan introduced Garbha Nataka. This is very important. What is Garbha Nataka? It is basically, a drama within a drama. That is very important. Garbha means belly. So you are writing a drama within a drama. So this is very interesting plot. As you see that in cinema, there are cinemas, there are films where a film is being made within a film. You have seen it, right, in Hollywood or in Bollywood. So in natok also, in drama also, there are Garbha Nataka, where a drama is being played within a drama. So this Priyadarshika, which is a kind of Garbha Nataka, it is first of its kind, in Sanskrit literature. So this is very important, that if you have been asked that what is the first example of Garbha Nataka, you have to say that it's Priyadarshika by, Harshavardhan. This is important. So only two other authors use this technique of Garbha Nataka, that is BHAVABHUTI in Uttar Ramcharit that we have discussed in the previous slide, and Rajshekhar in Balaramayana. So Garbha Nataka, what are the examples of Garbha Nataka? It is the Priyadarshika of Harshavardhan, it is BHAVABHUTI's Uttar Ramcharit, and it is also Rajshekhar's Balaramayana, right? The third and the last play that we will discuss about Harshavardhan is Ratnavali. It has been called a perfect play from the point of view of classical dramaturgy, because in classical dramaturgy there are certain structure, there are certain conditions and structure that you have to follow in order to write a play. So Ratnavali kind of follow all these conditions and all these structural thing that has been prescribed by classical dramaturgy. So Ratnavali is a play which is a basically story of a princess called Ratnavali and the king Udayana of Kausambi. So Ratnavali, the name of the princess Ratnavali, and from that the name of the play is also Ratnavali. So the king Udayana is married to Bashabdatta, but the Udayana fell in love with princess of Ratnavali, and that is the story of Ratnavali by Harshavardhana. But in terms of Udayana and Bashabdatta, they are husband wife, their story has another drama which is called Shapna Bashabdatta, and that is another cult text by poet Bhasha. That is important, and this Bhasha's Shapna Bashabdatta is a precursor of this story Ratnavali, right? So this is a important thing that you have to remember. Now going back, move back to the next author, that is Bhatta Narayana. So after BHAVABHUTI and Harshavardhana, we are kind of looking at Bhatta Narayana and his plays. So he was of Shandilya Gotra and his surname was Mrigaraja. So it was Bhatta Narayana Mrigaraja. Wilson, a historian, he identifies Bhatta Narayana as the Brahmin who was invited by Adishur from Kanauj to Bengal. So who is this Adishur? Adishur is he is a imaginary king of Bengal. Why imaginary king? Because the name of Adishur has been mentioned in many religious texts, in many Puthi text manuscripts, but no historical evidences has been found that whether Adishur existed in Bengal or not. So for that reason we call Adishur an imaginary king, right? That is a mythical king. So but according to legend is that it has been said that Adishur invited Bhatta Narayana from Kanauj. Bhatta Narayana lived in Kanauj, but the king of Bengal Adishur, the mythical king of Bengal Adishur, he invited Bhatta Narayana, and then Bhatta Narayana came to Bengal, and he probably belonged to, Bhatta Narayana belonged to in between somewhere 7th to 8th century AD. As you know that it is very difficult to pinpoint the actual time for some of these dramatists. So it is in between 7th to 8th century. So one of his important play is Veni Shamhara, And this Venishamhara is very popular. I have put a picture of it in order to you can more relate to it. So Benishanghar is basically the story of Bhim avenging the insults on Draupadi by Duryodhana. So the famous episode of Mahabharata where Duryodhan while playing uh, the famous Pasha Khela, the Pasha game, he kind of insulted Draupadi, and this Venishanghar is actually the story of Bhim, that how he kind of avenging the insults of Draupadi by Duryodhana. So the chief sentiment of the play is Veer-Rash. Veer-Rash, that is, Veer means brave. And like Ratnavali, Venishanghar also strictly adheres to the structure of dramaturgy. So it follows all the conditions and all the, prescribed things of this that has been prescribed by dramaturgy. So that is Venishanghar. And that is in a very short way what we will read about Bhatta Narayana. And the last is that I have mentioned some of the other poets also, some of the not poets, sorry, it should be dramatist, the other poet, the other dramatist. So the first one, and most of them are king themselves. So the first one is Yashovarman. Yashovarman, he was the patron of Bhavabhuti. I already said that in the first slide. So Yashovarman wrote, Ramabhudaya. It is the story of Ram in 6 acts, right? And Pallava king Mahendravarman, he wrote a farce. Farce is a comical drama, and he called it, Mattavilasa. So Mattavilasa Prahashan. Prahashan, the English translation of Prahashan is farce. So, and that has been written by Pallava king Mahendravarman. There is also Anangaharsha Matraraja. He was a king of Kalachuri dynasty, as you know, and he wrote 2 plays, 2 dramas. The first one is called Udattara Ghava, that is based on Ramayana, and the second one is Tapasa Vatsa Raja. It is the story of Udayan, Vasavdatta and Padmavati. Udayan, Vasavdatta, I already said that how it was, the story of Sriharsha's Ratnavali. So Ratnavali is also talking about Ratnavali and Udayana, and this Tapasa Vatsa Raja, it is also a story of Udayan and Vashabdatta, his wife. So you may say that Udayan, Vashabdatta, Padmavati, Ratnavali, these characters have influenced so much literary pieces, right? Written by Angaharsha Matraraja, written by Sriharsha also. So this is interesting. And the last one is Kaumundi Mahatsava. It is a nameless drama, that is, no name has been given to this drama, and it has been commonly ascribed to Vijakka, also known as Vijaya Bhattarika. So you just have to, you don't have to remember all these details, but just to, remember the name of the play and who wrote it. This is mainly important. So I have also, in these video, I have tried to look at only the name of the play and some of the core characteristics of these dramatists, and majorly their plays and what it is about, the plot in a very brief way. So this is the thing, that is, we have discussed BHAVABHUTI, SRIHARSHA and Bhatta Narayana, and some of the other minor dramas of this ancient period. So if you have any question, please put that in comment. You can also give me feedback that where I should stop or where I should explain more, and this is the thing, we will come up with next video, and for that please keep watching and please subscribe us, because otherwise I cannot keep up on that. So please subscribe, and thank you for watching the video.